Throwaway because this is an active legal disaster. I'm still shaking with a mix of rage and adrenaline, but I need to document this. I've spent the last 3 years at a mid-sized logistics firm. My boss, Gary, is the classic G-Wagon driving ego tripper who thinks he owns his employees because he signs the checks. Yesterday, Gary called me into his office and demanded my garage door code. He claims he was sending a maintenance guy to swap out my company sedan at my home while I was at my desk. What he didn't know, I hadn't driven the car home that day. It had an annoying slow leak in the rear tire, so it was still parked in the office lot. I had taken my wife's SUV instead. I live in a rural area and my garage is detached. It's where I keep about 10K in woodworking equipment, including a brand new cabinet saw I haven't even finished wiring up. I told him absolutely not. I have the keys in my pocket and I'll just drive it to the shop myself tomorrow. Gary went nuclear. He started screaming about insubordination and withholding company assets. He gave me an ultimatum, give him the code or I was fired for theft, and he'd have the cops at my door. I didn't blink. I told him that if access to my private home was a condition of employment, then I was done. He told me to pack your shit and get out of this building right now. I followed his order to the letter. I left the car keys in his inbox on his desk, which was a mess of paperwork, and walked out without saying another word. Here's the thing. I didn't drive the company car to work that morning. It had a slow leak in the rear passenger tire, so I had left it in the back of the office lot and taken my wife's SUV instead. Since Gary was too busy screaming to look out the window, he just assumed I'd driven it home like I usually do. About 2 hours later, my Ring camera pings. A hook and book tow driver Gary uses for cheap fleet moves is in my driveway. When he didn't see the car, he actually pulled a pry bar from his truck and started working on the side door of my detached garage. I called 911 and reported an active burglary. Because I'm out in the sticks, response times usually suck, but a county deputy happens to live 2 miles down my road. He was in my driveway in under 6 minutes and caught the guy mid-pry. The tow driver folded instantly. He showed the deputy text from Gary saying, "Employee terminated and is hiding the car in the garage. Do what you have to do to get it. I'll cover the door." The deputy called Gary to verify the theft. Gary, thinking he was being a hard ass, confirmed on a recorded line that he authorized the entry because I had stolen the vehicle. The deputy then drove to the office to recover the stolen vehicle. He found it parked exactly where I left it, 50 feet from Gary's office window. Gary was hauled out in zip ties for filing a false police report and solicitation to commit burglary. He apparently made it worse by resisting and screaming about his rights, which earned him an obstruction charge for good measure. My lawyer is already salivating over the wrongful termination and the attempted break-in. Gary tried to play God with my private property, and now he's figuring out how the legal system works from the back of a squad car.